chilled to the bone. What can Freddie be doing? He's been gone 20 minutes.
Oh, not so long, but he ought to have got us a cab by this.
You won't get no cab round here, missus, not until 11:30. When they come back, after dropping their theatre fares.
But we must have a cab. We can't stand here till 11:30. Oh, it's too bad.
Well, it ain't my fault, missus.
If Freddie had a bit of gumption, he would have got one at the theatre door.
Oh, what could he have done, poor boy?
Other people get cabs. Why couldn't he? Well, haven't you got a cab?
There's not one to be had for love nor money.
Oh, Freddie, there must be one. You can't have tried.
Oh, it's too tiresome. Do you expect us to go and get one ourselves?
I tell you, they're all engaged. Well, the rain was so sudden, nobody was prepared and everyone had to take a cab. Well, I've been as far as Charing Cross one way and nearly to Ludgate Circus the other, and they were all engaged.
Did you try Trafalgar Square?
There wasn't one at Trafalgar Square.
Did you try?
I've been as far as Charing Cross Station. Or did you expect me to walk to Hammersmith?
Oh, you haven't tried at all.
Oh, Freddie, you really are very helpless. Now, go again, and don't come back until you have found a cab.
Yes, but I shall simply get soaked for nothing.
And what about us? Are we to stay here in this draft all night with next to nothing on? You selfish pig.
Very well, very well. I'll go. I'll go. Oh, sorry.
Oh, now then, Freddie, look where you go there. Cheap manners for ya. Two bunches of violets gone trodden in the mud.
How did you know my son's name was Freddie, pray?
Oh, he's your son, is he? Well, if you've done your duty by him, that's my sure. He ain't no better than poor girl's flowers and run away about paying. You pay me for her.
Do nothing of the sort, Mamma. The idea.
Oh, please allow me, Clara. Have you any pennies?
No, I have nothing smaller than sixpence.
Oh, I can give you change for a talentine, dainties.
Give it to me, please. Now, this is for your flowers.
Thank you kindly, dainty.
Now, tell me how you know that's our young gentleman's name.
I do.
I distinctly heard you call him by it. Don't try and deceive me.
Who's trying to deceive ya? I called him Freddie or Charlie. Same as you would if you talked to a stranger who was to be pleasant.
Sixpence thrown away. Really, Mamma, you might have said pretty that.
Oh, sir, is there any sign of it stopping?
I'm afraid not. It started worse than ever about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, dear.
Never mind if it's worse. The start is nearly over. So cheer up, Captain, and buy flowers, poor girl.
I'm sorry, I haven't any change.
What, give you change, Captain?
For a sovereign, I've nothing less.
Oh, John, I'll do buy flowers for me.
Oh, don't be troublesome, there's a good girl. I really haven't any change. Wait a minute. There's 3 halfpence, if that's any use to you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, you be careful, girls. Give him a flower for it. There's a bloke behind here, take it down. Every blessed word you're saying. I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking that gentleman. I'm a right to sell flowers if I keep off the curb. I'm a respectable girl, I am, so help me, I swear. I never boys would accept one flowers for me.
Taking her down. Him over there.
Sir, don't get him that charge against me. You don't know what it means to me. They'll drive
Took
me out
money
the
off the
street.
gentleman.
Oh,
there.
there. Who's hurting you, you silly girl? What are you taking it for?
He's all right. He's a gentleman. But I tell ya, look at his boots.
Oh.
You, copper's lark, sir.
What's a copper's lark?
Well, it's a copper's lark, as you might say. What else would you call it? A sort of informer. I take my Bible oath, I never said a word.
Oh, shut up. Do I look like a policeman?
Then what do you take down me words for? How do I know if you took me down right? You just show me what you read about me. What's that? That ain't proper right, I can't read that.
I can. Cheer up, Kevin. Bar flat and full go.
Oh, it's because I called him Captain. Oh, I meant no harm. Oh, sir, don't let no charge against me.
Charge, I make no charge. Really, sir, if you are a detective, I'll thank you not to protect me against molestation by young women until I ask you. Anyone can see the girl meant no harm.
Well, what business is it of yours?
Yeah, you mind your own business.
He
wants promotion, he does.
He ain't a tech, he's a blooming busybody.
Yeah,
I'll tell ya.
Yeah.
Look at him. boots.
And how are all your people down at Selsey?
Who told you more people come from Selsey?
Never you mind. They did. How did you come to be so far up east? You were born in Lisson Grove.
Oh, what harm is there in my leaving Lisson Grove?
Live where you like, but stop that noise.
Oh, come. He can't touch you. You have a perfect right to live where you please.
Park Lane, for instance. Park Lane. I'd like to go into the house in question with
I'm a
you.
good girl, I am.
Here. Where do you reckon I comes from then?
Hoxton.
Dear, who said I... Well, blimey, he knows everything, he does.
Ain't no cool meddle with me, eh?
Of course he ain't. Don't you stand it from him. See here, what causes you to know about people that never offered to meddle with you?
Let him say what he likes. I don't want no truck with him.
Yeah, take us for dirt under your feet,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
Take liberties with a gentleman.
Yeah, tell him where he comes from if you want to go fortune telling.
Cheltenham, Harrow, Cambridge and India.
Quite right. Tell me, sir, do you do this sort of thing for your living in a music hall?
Oh, I've thought of that. Perhaps I shall someday.
Be ashamed of himself.
Oh, what can Freddie be doing? I shall catch you murder if I stay this draft any longer.
Earl's Court.
Will you please keep your impertinent remarks to yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. Your mother's eczema, mistakenly.
How very curious. I was brought up in Large Lady Park, near Epsom.
Oh, what a devil of a name. You want a cab, do you?
Don't dare speak to me.
Oh, please, Clara. We would be so grateful to you, sir, if you would find us a cab. Oh, thank you very
I
much.
told you he was a plainclothes copper, didn't I?
That ain't a police whistle, it's a sporting whistle.
You don't right to take away my character. My character is the same to me as any other lady.
I don't know whether anybody has noticed it, but the rain stopped about 2 minutes ago.
Oh, God, so it has. And I'm standing here listening to your silliness.
Oi! Here, I know where you come from. You come from Hanwell. Go on, get on back.
Hanwell.
Oh, sorry, teacher. Come on, darling, we're off. Go on.
Frightening people like that. How do you like it in Dale? It's quite fine now, Clara. We can walk to a motor bus and come.
Oh, but the cab! Oh, how tiresome. Mamma, wait for me.
Poor girl. Hard enough for her to live without being worried and chivvy.
How do you do it, may I ask?
Oh, simply phonetics.
Oh, we're ashamed of him.
Science of speech. That's my hobby, also my profession. You could spot an Irishman or a Yorkshiman by his brogue. I can spot a man within 6 miles, within 2 miles of in London, sometimes within 2 streets.
Is there a living in that?
Oh yes, quite a fat one. This is an age of upstarts. Men begin in Kentish Town with £80 a year and end up in Park Lane with 100,000. They want to drop Kentish Town, but
Let him mind his own business and leave a poor girl.
Cease this detestable noise or seek the shelter of some other place of worship.
Right up here if I like. Same as you.
A woman who utters such depressing and disgusting sounds as yours has no right to be anywhere, no right to live. And remember that you are a human being with a soul and the divine gift of articulate speech. That your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton. Oh, and don't sit there crooning like a bilious pigeon. Oh, heavens, what a sound. Ow.
Go.
You see this creature with her curbstone English, the English that will keep her in the gutter till the end of her days. Well, sir, in 3 months I could pass this girl off as a duchess at an ambassador's garden party. I could even get her a place as a lady's maid, which requires better English.
What's that you say?
Yes, you squashed cabbage leaf, you disgrace to the noble architecture of these columns. You incarnate insult to the English language. Yes, I could pass you off as the Queen of Sheba. Can you believe that?
Well, I myself am a student of Indian
Are you?
dialects.
Do you know Colonel Pickering, the author of Spoken Sanskrit?
Well, I am Colonel Pickering. Who are you?
Oh, Henry Higgins. Author of Higgins' Universal Alphabet.
I came from India to meet you.
Yeah, I was going to India to meet you.
Where do you live?
27A Wimpole Street. Come and see me tomorrow.
Well, I'm at the Carlton. Come with me now and we'll have a jaw over some supper.
Right you are.
Bar flatter all to me kind gentlemen, I'm short for me lodging.
I'm terribly sorry, I really haven't any change.
Liar, you said you could change half a crown.
You overweight stuff with nose, you all! Take your blooming basket, my sixpence!
I went behind her.
Oh! Oh!
Hello? Hello, Mother? I got one at last. Where are the two ladies that were here?
They got a bus when the rain stops.
And left me with a cab on my hands. Damnation!
Never mind, young man. I'm going home in a taxi. Taxi!
Well, I'm dashed.
Well, I think that's the whole show. It's really quite amazing. You know, I haven't taken half of it in yet.
Would you like to go over any of it again?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm quite done up for this morning.
Tired of listening to sounds?
Yes, it's a fearful strain. I rather fancied myself because I can recognise 24 distinct vowel sounds, but you're 130 feet me. Can't tell a bit of difference between most of them.
Oh, that comes with practice. You hear no difference at first, but you keep on listening, and presently you find out all as different as A from B. Yes, what is it, Mrs. Pearson?
A young woman asked to see you, sir.
A young woman? What does she want?
Well, sir, she said you'll be very glad to see her when you know what she's come about. She's quite a common girl, sir, very common indeed. I should have sent her away, and I thought perhaps you might like her to talk into one of your machines. I hope I've not done wrong, but you see such queer people sometimes. I'm sure you'll excuse me, sir.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Pearson. Does she have an interesting accent?
Oh, something dreadful, sir. I don't know how you can take an interest in it.
Let's have her up. Show her up, Mrs. Pearson.
Very well, sir. It's for you to say.
This is rather a bit of luck. I'll show you how I make phonographs. We'll get her talking first, then I'll write it down in Bell's physical speech, then in broad Romic, and then you can turn her on and off as often as you like, with a written transcript before you.
This is the young woman, sir.
Why, this is the young girl I jotted down last night. I've all the information I want to the Listen Grove lingo, and I'm not going to waste another cylinder on her. Be off with you, I don't want you.
Don't you be so saucy. Ain't heard what I come for yet. Did you tell him I'll come in a taxi?
Nonsense, girl. What do you think a gentleman like Mr. Higgins cares what you came?
Oh, you're proud. He ain't above giving lessons, not him, I heard him say so. Well, I ain't come here after any compliment, and if my money ain't good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough for what?
Good enough for you. Now, you know, don't you? I'm coming to have lessons, I am, and to pay for them too, make no mistake.
Oh. What do you expect me to say to you?
Well, if you was a gentleman, you might ask me to sit down, I think. Don't I tell you, I'm bringing you business.
Pickering, shall we ask this baggage to sit down, or shall we throw her out of the window?
Oh, I won't be called a baggage. Not when I've offered to pay like any other lady.
Tell us exactly what you want.
I want to be a lady in a flat shop. Instead of selling at the corner of Tottenham Court Road only, they won't take me unless I talk more genteel. He goes in to learn me. Well, here I am, not asking any favour, and he treats me as if I was dirt.
Oh, how can you be such a foolish, ignorant girl as to think you could afford to pay Mr. Higgins?
Why shouldn't I? I know what lessons cost as well as you do, and I'm ready to pay.
How much?
Now you're talking. Before you come off it when you saw a chance to get you back a bit of what you chucked me last night, you've had a drop in, didn't you?
Sit down.
What? You're going to make a compliment out of it?
Sit down!
Oh, sit down, girl, and do as you're told.
Please, won't you sit down?
Don't mind if I do.
What's your name?
Last Doolittle.
Eliza, Elizabeth, Betsy and Bess. They went to the woods one day to get a bird's nest.
They found a nest with 4 eggs in it.
They took one apiece and left 3 in it.
Oh, don't be silly.
Yeah, you mustn't speak to the gentleman like that.
Well, why won't you speak sensible to me?
Well, come back to business. How much do you propose paying for the lesson?
Oh, I know what's right. A lazy friend of mine gets French lessons for 18 pence an hour from a real French gentleman. Well, you wouldn't have the face to ask me to say for learning me my own language if you were French. So, won't give more than a shilling, take it or leave it.
No, Pickering. If you consider a shilling, not as a simple shilling, but as a percentage of this girl's income, it works out roughly to be about 60 or 70 guineas from a millionaire.
How so?
Well, figure it out. A millionaire has about £150 a day. She earns about half a crown.
Who told you I
She
am
offers
here?
me 2/5 of her day's income. 2/5 of a millionaire's income works out to be about £60. I mean, it's handsome. By George, it's enormous. It's the biggest offer I've ever had.
£60? What are you talking about? I never offered you £60. Where was the big £60?
Hold your tongue.
But I have got £60.
Oh, sit down, you silly girl, and don't cry. Nobody's going to touch your money.
Somebody is going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop snivelling.
Oh, one would think you was me father.
If I decide to touch you, I'll be worse than 2 fathers to you. Here,
What's that for?
to wipe your eyes, to wipe any part of your face that feels moist. Remember, that is your handkerchief, and that is your sleeve. Don't mistake one for the other if you wish to become a lady in a flower shop.
It's no good, Mr. Higgins. She doesn't understand you.
Yeah! You, give me that handkerchief. Give it me, not you.
I'm afraid he did, Mrs. Pierce. I think it must be regarded as her property.
Serves you right, Mr. Higgins.
Higgins, I'm interested. About the ambassador's garden party. I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good. In fact, I'll bet you all the costs of the experiment you can't do it. And I'll pay for your lessons.
Oh, you're real good, you are, Captain. Oh, thank you.
You know, it's irresistible. She's so deliciously low, so horribly dirty.
Yeah, I'm dirty. I wash my face and hands before I come on in.
You're certainly not going to turn her head with flattery, are you, Higgins?
Oh, please don't say that, sir. There's no one that can turn a girl's head more than Mr. Higgins, though he may not always mean it. I do hope you're not going to encourage him to do anything foolish.
What is life but a series of inspired follies? The difficulty is to find them to do. Never lose a chance. It doesn't come every day. Yes, I shall make a duchess of this draggle-tailed gatter-snipe.
Oh.
Yes, in 6 months, in 3 if she has a good ear and a quick tongue. I'll pass her off anywhere, take her to anything and take her anywhere. We'll start today. Now, this minute. Take away and clean her, Mrs. Pierce. Monkey brand if it won't come off any other way. Is there a good fire in the kitchen?
Yes, but
Take all her clothes off and burn them. Ring up Whiteley or somebody for new ones. Wrap her in brown paper till we go.
Oh! You're no gentleman, you're not. Stop that thing. I'm a good girl, I am. I know what the likes of you are, I do.
We want none of your listen grow prudery here, young woman. You've got to behave like a duchess. Take away, Mrs. Pierce. If she gives you any trouble, wallop her.
No! I won't think I will.
But where shall I put her?
Well, put her in the dustbin.
Oh!
Come, Higgins, be reasonable.
Yes, sir, you really must be reasonable. You simply can't walk over everybody like this.
I? Walk over anybody? My dear Mrs. Pierce, my dear Pickering, I never had the slightest intention in doing anything of the kind. All I propose is that we should be kind to this poor girl, that we should prepare and fit herself for her new station in life. If I did not express myself clearly, it was because I did not want to hurt her feelings or yours.
Well, did you ever hear anything like that, sir?
Never, Mrs. Pierce, never.
What's the matter?
The matter is, sir, that you simply can't take a girl up as though she were a pebble on a beach.
Why ever not?
Because you don't know anything about her. Where are her parents? She may be married.
Ah, go!
There, as the young girl probably says, "Gar married indeed." Don't you know that a woman of that class rocks a walnut drudge of 50 a year after she's married?
Who's married me?
By George, Eliza, the streets will be strewn with the bodies of men shooting themselves for your sake before I've finished with you.
Nonsense, sir. You mustn't talk like that to her.
I'm going away. He's off his chump, he is. I don't want no barmies teaching me.
Oh, madam. Very well, Mrs. Pierce, you needn't order any new clothes for her. Throw her out.
No, you got no right to throw me out.
You see now what comes of being saucy. This way, please.
I didn't want no clothes. Want to take them? I can buy my own clothes.
You are an ungrateful, wicked girl. This is my return to offer to take you out of the gutter and make a lady of you.
Stop! It's you that are being wicked, Mr. Higgins. Go round to your parents now and tell them to take better care of you.
I ain't got no parents. They told me I was big enough to earn my own living and turn me out.
But where's your mother?
I ain't got no mother. Her that turned me out was my sick stepmother. But I done without him and I'm a good girl, I am.
Then what is all this fuss about? Anybody can see that the girl does not belong to anybody, is no use to anybody but me. You can adopt her, Mrs. Pierce. I'm sure a daughter would be a great amusement to you. Now, don't make any more
But
fuss.
what's to become of her? Is she to be paid? Oh, do be sensible, sir.
Pay her whatever's necessary. Put it down in the housekeeping book. But what on earth will she want with money? She'll have her food and her clothes. She'll only drink if you give her money.
Oh, you're a brute! It's a lie! Nobody ever saw the sign of liquor on me! Oh, sir! You're a kind gentleman. Don't let him speak to me like that.
Does it occur to you, Higgins, that this girl has some feelings?
Oh, no. I don't think so. Not any feelings we need bother about, have you, Eliza?
I've got my feelings. Same as anyone else.
You see the difficulty.
What difficulty?
To get her to talk grammar. The mere pronunciation is easy enough.
I don't want to talk grammar. I want to talk like a lady in a flower shop.
Mr. Higgins, you must stick to the point. I want to know on what terms the girl is to stay here, and what has become of her when you've finished your teaching. You must look ahead a little.
Well, what's to become of her if I leave her in the gutter? Tell me that, Mrs. Pierce.
That is her business, not yours.
Well,
sir.
very well. Once I finish with her, we can throw her back into the gutter and it'll be her own business again. So that's all right.
You don't feeling art in you. You don't care for nothing but yourself. Yeah, I've had enough of this. I'm going. You all are being ashamed of yourselves, you all.
Have some chocolates, Liza.
I don't know what might be in them. I've heard of girls being drugged by the likes of you.
Plenty of good faith. I eat one half, you eat the other. You shall have boxes of them, barrels of them. Every day you shall live on them. Eh?
Wouldn't have bet it. Only I'm too ladylike to take it out of my mouth.
Listen, Eliza, you said you came in a taxi.
Well, what if I did? I've got the right to take taxis as anyone else.
Oh, you have. And you shall have as many taxis as you want. You shall go up and down and around the town in a taxi every day. Think of that, Eliza.
Mr. Higgins, you're tempting the girl. It's not right. She should think of her future.
At her age? Nonsense. Time enough to think of a future when you have no future to think of. No, Eliza, do as this lady does. Think of everybody else's futures, but never think of your own. Think of chocolates, and taxis, and gold. Diamonds.
No, I don't want no gold and no diamonds. I'm a good girl, I
You shall
am.
remain so under the care of Mrs. Pierce, and you shall marry an officer of the guards with a beautiful moustache, the son of a marquis, who will disinherit him for marrying you, but will soon relent when he sees your beauty and your goodness.
Really, Higgins, I must interfere. Mrs. Pierce is quite right. If this girl is to place herself in your hands for an experiment in teaching for 6 months, she must understand thoroughly what is involved.
Nonsense. She's incapable of understanding anything. Besides, do any of us know what we're doing? If we did, would we ever do it?
Very clever, Higgins, but not to the present point. Now, Miss Doolittle,
That's all you're going to get out of that.
Oh!
As a military man, you ought to know that. Give her orders. That's enough for her. Eliza, you are to remain here for the next 6 months, learning how to speak beautifully like a lady in a flower shop. If you are good and do what's asked of you, you shall have a proper bedroom, have lots to eat, money to buy taxis. If you are naughty and idle, you shall sleep in the back kitchen with the black beetles and be walloped with a broomstick by Mrs. Pierce. At the end of 6 months, you shall go to Buckingham Palace in a carriage, beautifully dressed. If the king finds out that you are not a lady, you shall be taken by the police to the Tower of London, where your head will be cut, as a warning to other presumptuous flower girls. If you are not found out, you shall be given a reward of 7 and 6 to start life with as a lady in a flower shop. If you refuse this offer, you shall be the most ungrateful, wicked girl, and the angels will weep for you. Now, are you satisfied, Pickering? Can I put it more clearly, Mrs. Pierce?
I think I should like to have a word with the girl in private, sir. I don't know that I can take care of her or agree to the arrangement. Oh, of course I know you don't mean her any harm. But when you get what you call interested in other people's actions, you don't seem to care what happens to them or you. Oh, come with me, Eliza.
Very well then, Mrs. Pierce. Bundle her off to the bathroom.
Oh, you're a great bully, you are! Won't stay here if you don't like. Won't let nobody want me. I never asked to go to Buckingham Palace, I didn't. I'm a good gal, I am.
Look, you mustn't talk to the gentlemen like that. You don't understand them. Come with me.
Well, what I say is right. Won't go near the king, not you're going to have your head cut off. And if I don't want to let myself in for, I would have come here. And I don't care.
Excuse the straight question, Higgins, but are you a man of good character where women are concerned?
Have you ever met a man of good character where women are concerned?
Yes, very frequently.
Well, I haven't. I find that the moment that I let a woman make friends with me, she becomes jealous, exacting, suspicious, and a damned nuisance. I find that the moment that I make friends with a woman, I become selfish and tyrannical. Women upset everything. So here I am, a confirmed old bachelor, and likely to remain so.
Come, Higgins, you know what I mean. If I'm to be involved in this business, I shall somehow feel responsible for that girl. I'd like it clearly understood that no advantage is to be taken of her position.
Well, that thing, sacred, I assure you. Yes, what is it, Mrs. Pierce?
I just wish to trouble you with a word, if I may, Mr. Higgins.
Certainly, come in. Oh, don't burn that, Mrs. Pierce. I'll keep it as a curiosity.
Oh, handle it very carefully, sir. I had promised not to burn it, but I think I better put it in the oven for a while.
Oh, very well. Yes, Mrs. Pierce. What did you have to say to me?
Am I in the way?
Not at all, sir. Mr. Higgins, we are going to have to be very particular what you say before the girl.
Of course, I'm always particular about what I say. Why do you say this to me?
No, sir, you are not at all particular when you've lost something or you become impatient. Now, I don't mind before me. I'm used to it. But you really must not swear before the girl.
Swear? I never swear. I detest the habit. What the devil do you mean?
That's exactly what I mean. You swear a great deal too much. Now, I don't mind your damning and blasting and who the devil, where the devil, and what the devil.
Mrs. Pierce, the language from your lips, really.
And there is another word I really must ask you not to use. The girl used it herself this morning when she began to enjoy her bath. It begins with the same letter as bath. The girl knows no better. She learnt it off her mother's knee, but she mustn't hear it from your lips.
I cannot charge myself with ever having uttered it. Except in moments of extreme and justifiable moments.
Only this morning, sir, you applied it to the boots, to the butter, and to your brown bread.
Oh, that mere alliteration, natural to a poet.
Well, whatever you choose to call it, sir, you must not let the girl hear you say it.
Very well, then. Is that all?
No, sir, that is not all. We are going to have to be very particular with this girl as to personal cleanliness.
Certainly. Quite right. Most important.
I mean, not to be slovenly about her dress, or untidy in leaving things lying around.
Just so. I intended to call your attention to that. It is these things that matter most. Pickering, take care of the pence, and the pounds will take care of themselves. It's as true of personal habits as of money.
Oh, in that case, sir, might I ask you not to come downstairs in your dressing gown, or at least not to use it as a napkin to the extent that you do. And if you would be so good as not to put everything onto the same plate, and not to take the porridge saucepan out of your hand onto the clean tablecloth. It would set a better example before the girl. You know, you nearly choked on a fishbone in the jam only last week.
I may do these things in absence of mind, but surely I don't do them habitually. By the way, my dressing gown smells most damnably of benzene.
Well, I'm sure it does, but if you will wipe your fingers...
Very well, then. I'll wipe them in my hair in the future.
Oh, I hope I've not upset you, sir.
Not at all? Not at all? No? Is that all, Mrs. Fitz?
No, sir. Might she borrow some of those dresses you brought back from Japan last year? I've really nothing to put her in.
Certainly. Anything you like. Is that all?
Yes, sir. That is all. Thank you, sir.
You know, Pickering, that woman has the most extraordinary ideas about me. Here I am, a shy, diffident sort of chap. I've never been able to feel really grown up and tremendous like other chaps. And yet she's firmly persuaded that I'm an arbitrary, overbearing, bossing kind of person. I really can't account for it.
If you please, sir, the trouble's beginning already. There's a dustman downstairs, Alfred Doolittle. He wants to see you. He says you have his daughter here.
Oh, I say.
Show the blackguard up.
Very well, sir.
Because he may not be a blackguard, Higgins.
And nonsense, of course he's a blackguard.
Well, whether he is or whether he isn't, I think we'll have some trouble with him.
Oh, no. If we have any trouble, he shall have it with me, not I with him. Anyway, we're bound to get something interesting out of him.
Oh, what do you mean about the girl?
No, I mean about his dialect.
Oh, yes.
Doolittle, sir.
Professor Higgins.
Here. Good morning. Sit down.
Morning, Governor. I come about a very serious matter, Governor.
Brought up in Hounslow, Mother Welsh, I should think. Yes, what was it you had to say to me, Doolittle?
I want my daughter. That's what I want, see?
Of course you do. You're her father. You don't suppose anyone else wants her, do you? I'm glad to see that there's some spark of family feeling left. She's upstairs. Take her away at once.
What?
Take her away? You don't suppose I'm going to keep your daughter for you?
Now, look here. Is this reasonable? Is it fair of you to take advantage of a man like this? The girl belongs to me. You've got her. Where do I come?
Your daughter had the audacity to come to my house and expect me to teach her how to speak properly so that she could get a place in a flower shop. This gentleman and my housekeeper have been here all the time. How dare you come here and attempt to blackmail me? You sent her here on purpose.
Don't take a man up like that,
The police shall take you up. This is a plot, a plant to extort money by threats. I shall telephone to the police.
Have I asked for a brass farthing? I'll leave it to this gentleman here. Have I said a word about money?
What have you come for?
Well, what would a man come for? Do you, Governor?
Alfred, did you put her up to it?
So help me, I never did. I take me Bible oath I ain't seen the girl these 2 months past.
Then how can you possibly know that she's here?
I'll tell you, Governor, if you'll only give me a chance. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I'm waiting to tell you.
Pickering, this chap has a certain natural gift for the rhetoric. Observe the rhythm of his natural wood notes wild. I'm willing to tell you, I'm wanting to tell you, I'm waiting to tell you. Sentimental rhetoric. It's the Welsh strain in him. It also accounts for his mendacity and his dishonesty.
Steady on, Higgins. I'm West Country myself. How did you know she was here if you didn't send her?
It was like this, Governor. The girl took the boy in a taxi to give him a bit of a jaunt. He hung about on the chance of her giving him another ride home. She sent him back for her luggage when she heard that you was willing for her to stop here. I met the boy on the corner of Longacre and Endell Street.
Public house, yes?
Poor man's club, Governor. Why shouldn't I?
Do let him tell his story, Higgins.
Well, he told me what was up, and I asked her, what was my feelings and my duty as a father? I says to the boy, you bring me the luggage item.
Why didn't you go and get it yourself?
Landlady wouldn't have trusted me with it, Governor. She's that kind of woman, you know. I had to give the boy a penny before he trusted me with it, the little swan. I brought her the luggage just to oblige you, like, and to make myself agreeable, that's all.
How much luggage?
Well, there's a musical cover, a few pictures, a trifle of jewellery, if I can find them. Oh, and this bird cage. She said she didn't want no clothes. And what was I to think from that? I asked her, as a parent, what was I to think?
So you came here to rescue her from worse than death, eh?
Just so, that's right.
Why did you bring her luggage if you were going to take her away?
Have I said a word about taking her away? Have I now?
You're going to take her away double quick.
No, don't say that, Governor. Oh, I ain't the man to stand in my girl's life. There's a career opening for her, as you might say.
Mrs. Pierce, this is Eliza's father. He's come to take her away. Give it to him.
No, this is a misunderstanding.
But he can't. How can he? You told me to burn her clothes.
That's right. Can't carry the girl through the streets like a blooming monkey now, can I? I'll put it to you.
You have put it to me that you want your daughter. Take your daughter. If she has no clothes, go out and buy her some.
Where's the clothes she come in? Did I burn them or did your missus here?
I am the housekeeper, if you please. I have sent for some clothes for your daughter. When they arrive, you can take her away. You can wait in the kitchen. This way, please.
Listen here, Governor. You and me is men of the world now, ain't we?
Ah, men of the world, are we? I think you'd better go, Mrs. Pierce.
I think so indeed, sir.
Well, the floor is yours, Mr. Doolittle.
I thank you, Governor. Well, the truth is, I'm taking a sort of fancy to you, Governor. And if you want the girl, I ain't so set on having her back home today. All I ask is me rights as a father. And I expect you're the last man alive to let her go for nothing. Because I can see you're one of the straight sort, Governor. And what's a £5 note to you? And what's Eliza to me?
I think you ought to know, Doolittle, that Professor Higgins' intentions are entirely honourable.
Of course they are, Governor. If I thought different, I'd ask 50.
You mean to say that you'd sell your daughter for £50?
Well, not in a general way, I wouldn't know, but to oblige a gentleman like you, I'd do you a good deal, I do assure you.
Have you no morals, man?
Can't afford them, Governor. Nor could you if you was as poor as me. Not that I mean any harm, like, but if Liza's to get a bit out of this, why not me too?
I don't know what to do, Pickering. There can be no question that as a matter of morals, it would be a positive crime to give this chap a farthing, and yet I feel a rough justice in his claim.
That's it. That's all I say. Father's art, as it were.
I know the feeling, but it just doesn't seem quite right somehow.
Don't say that, Governor. Don't look at it that way. What am I, Governors both, I ask you? What am I? I am one of the undeserving poor. That's what I am. And think what that means to a man. It means he's up against middle-class morality all of the time. If there's anything going, and I put in for a bit of it, the story's always the same. You're undeserving. You can't have it. I don't need less than an ordinary man. I need more. I don't eat less hardly than him, and I drink a lot more. So, what is this middle-class morality? It's just another excuse for never giving me nothing. Therefore, as two gentlemen, I ask you not to play that game on me. I'm playing it straight with you. I ain't pretending to be deserving. I'm undeserving. And I'm going to go on being undeserving. I like it, and that's the truth. Would you take advantage of a man's nature to do him out of the price of his own daughter, who he's brought up and fed and clothed by the sweat of his brow, until she's big enough to be of interest to you two gentlemen. Is £5 unreasonable? I'll put it to you, and I'll leave it to you.
Pickering, if we take this man in hand for 3 months, he could choose between a seat in the cabinet and a popular pulpit in Wales.
What do you say to that, Doolittle?
Not me, thank you kindly, Governor. I've heard all the preachers and all the Prime Ministers, but I'm a thinking man and game for politics or religion or social reforms, same as all the other amusements. And I tell you, it's a dog's life any way you look at it. No. Undeserving poverty is undeserving poverty is my life.
I suppose we must give him a fiver.
Well, they'll make a bad use of it, I'm afraid.
Don't say that, Governor. Well, don't be afraid that I'll save it and spare it and live idle by it. Won't be a penny of it left by Monday. Just one good spree for me and the missus. You couldn't spend it better.
Well, this is irresistible. Let's give him 10.
No, she wouldn't have the heart to spend 10, and perhaps I shouldn't either. £10 is a lot of money. Makes a man feel prudent like, and then goodbye to happiness. Now you give me what I asked you, Governor. Not a penny more, not a penny less.
Pickering, if we listen to this man another minute, we shall have no morals left. £5, I think you said.
Thank you kindly, Governor.
Are you sure you won't take 10?
Not now. Another time, Governor?
Okay, there you go then.
Well, thank you. Morning, gentlemen. Oh, beg your pardon, miss.
Yeah, don't you know no sort,
Oh, blimey, it's Eliza.
Don't I look silly?
Silly!
Oh, please, sir, don't say anything to make the girl more conceited about herself.
Oh yes, damn silly.
Oh, please, sir.
I mean very silly.
I should look all right with the hat on.
A new fashion, by George. Ooh. It ought to look horrible.
Well, I never thought she'd clean up as good looking as this, Governor. She's a credit to me, ain't she?
I tell ya, it's easy to clean up here, Dad. Hot and cold water on tap there is, just as much as you like. Woolly towels there is, soft brushes to scrub yourself, and a wooden bowl of soap smelling like primroses. Now I knows wise ladies is the key. Washing's a treat for 'em. Wish what they could see what it is for the like of me.
I'm glad the bathroom met with your approval, Eliza.
It did. Not all of it. And I don't care who hears me say it, Mrs. Pygmalion.
What was the matter, Mrs. Pince?
Oh, nothing, sir, nothing.
I didn't know which way I look, but I hung me towel over it, I did.
Over what?
Over the looking glass, sir.
Doolittle, you've brought your daughter up far too strictly.
Not me, Governor. I ain't brought her up at all, except give her a lick of a strap now and again. Don't put it on me. She ain't used to it, you see, that's all. But she has soon pick up your free and easy ways.
Here, I'm a good girl, I am, and I won't pick up no free and easy ways.
Eliza, if you say again that you're a good girl, your father shall take you home.
Not him. You don't know me father. All he come here for was to touch you for some money to get drunk on.
Well, what else would I want money for? To put in a plate in church, I suppose. And don't you give me none of your lick. And don't let me hear you giving this gentleman none of it neither, or you'll hear about it from me, see?
Oh, get out.
Well, Mr. Doolittle, do you have any more advice to give your daughter before your leave? Your blessing, for instance?
No, Governor. I ain't such a mother to put my children up to all alone myself. So long, gentlemen.
Stop. You won't come to see your daughter. It's your duty, you know.
Oh, certainly I'll come, Governor, but not just this week. But later then, you may depend upon it. Morning, gentlemen. Morning, man.
Ooh. Don't you believe the old liar? Won't see him again in an hurry.
I don't want to, Eliza, do you?
Nah, I don't want to never see him again, I don't. He's a disgrace to me, he is. Collecting dust instead of working at his trade.
What exactly is his trade, Eliza?
He's quite a trade, isn't he? He works at it, sometimes two, frets size. Earns good money at it and all. Ain't you going to call me Miss Doolittle anymore?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Doolittle. It was a slip of the tongue.
Oh, I don't mind. Only it sounded so genteel. I should just like to take a taxi to the corner of Tottenham Court Road. Get out there. Tell it to wait for me. Just to put the girls in their place a bit. Won't talk to them, mind.
Well, perhaps you'd better wait until we've got you something really fashionable.
Well, besides, you shouldn't cut your old friends out now that you've risen in the world. That's what we call snobbery.
You don't call them the likely friends now, you know. They took it out of me often enough with their ridiculous when they had the chance. But now, if I'm to have some fashionable clothes, I'll wait. It's like to have some. Mrs. Pierce says, you're going to give me new clothes to wear in bed at night. Different to the ones to wear in the daytime. She'd like to have some. But it does seem a waste of money when you could have something to show. Besides, I never did fancy changing the cold things on a winter's night.
Now, Eliza, the new things have come for you to try on.
Do brush your butt like that, girl.
Pickering, we've taken on a stiff job. Higgins, we have.
Now, say your alphabet.
I know my alphabet. Don't listen to talk like a child.
Say your alphabet.
Oh, say it, Miss Doolittle. You will understand presently. Let him teach you in his own way.
Oh, well, if you put it like that. A, B, C, D.
Stop! Listen to this. This is what we pay for as elementary education. This unfortunate creature has been locked up in school for 9 years at our expense to get her to teach the language of Shakespeare and Milton, and the result is I, buy, say A, B, C, D.
But I'm saying it. A, B.
Stop! Say a cup of tea.
A, cup of tea.
Put your tongue forward until it reaches the top of your lower teeth. Top. Now say cup.
I can't.
Excellent, Miss Doolittle. Well done.
By Jupiter, she's done it at first drop. We'll make her Jupiter. We'll make a duchess of her yet. Now, do you think you could possibly say tea? Not tie, mind. If ever you say I buy, die again, you shall be dragged around the room 3 times by the hair of your head. Tea, 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 tea!
No, I can't hear no difference. Exactly sounds more genteel like when you're saying it.
Well, if you can hear the difference, what are you crying for? Oh, Pickering, give her a shock.
No. Now, come along, Miss Doolittle. You're doing very well. The lessons aren't too painful. I will see he doesn't drag you round the room by your hair.
Be off with you to Mrs. Pierce. Tell her about it. Try and remember. Keep your tongue well forward, behind your teeth. That's it. Cut the tongue well forward instead of trying to roll it up and swallow it. Okay? Another lesson at 4:30. Be off with you.
Oh.
What are you doing here today? It is my at home day. You promised not to come.
Oh, bother.
Go home at once.
I know, I came on purpose.
But you mustn't, dear. I'm serious. You offend all my friends. They stop coming whenever they meet you.
Oh, I know I have no small talk, but they don't mind.
Oh, don't they? Small talk indeed. What about your large talk? Oh, really, dear, you must stay.
I must. I've a phonetic job for you.
It's no use, dear, I'm sorry. I can't get round to a vowel. And though I like to get pretty postcards in your patent shorthand, I always have to read the copies in ordinary writing you so thoughtfully send me.
Well, this isn't a phonetic job.
You said it was.
Well, not your part of it. I picked up a girl.
Oh. Does that mean that some girl has picked you up?
No, not at all. I don't mean a love affair.
What a pity.
Why?
Well, you never seem to fall in love with anyone under 45. When will you discover that there are some rather nice young women about?
Oh, I can't be bothered with young women. Besides, my idea of a wonderful woman is as like you as possible. Some habits lie too deep to be changed. Well, besides, they're all idiots.
Do you know what you would do if you really loved me, Henry?
Oh, bother. What, to marry, I suppose?
No, dear. Stop fidgeting and take your hands out of your pockets. That's a good boy. Now, tell me about the girl.
She's coming to see you.
I don't remember asking her.
You didn't. I did. If you'd known her, you wouldn't have asked her.
Indeed. Why?
Well, it's like this. She's a common flower girl, and I picked her up off the coast.
And you invited her to my at-home?
Oh, that'll be all right. She's to keep to strict orders as to her behaviour, and I've taught her how to speak beautifully. She's to keep to two subjects, the weather and everybody's health. Fine day, and how do you do and all that. I mean, it'll be safe.
Safe? To talk about our health? About our insides? Perhaps even our outsides. How could you be so silly, Henry?
Well, she must talk about something. Oh, it'll be all right. Don't you fuss. Pickering is in it with me. I was sort of bet on that I'll pass her off as a duchess in 6 months. We've been working on her for some months now, and she's getting on like a house on fire. I shall win my bet. She's been easier to teach than some of my middle-class pupils, because it's like learning a complete new language for her. She talks English almost as you talk French.
Well, that's satisfactory at all events.
Well, it is and it isn't.
What does that mean?
Well, you see, I've got a pronunciation all right, but it's not how she pronounces, but what she pronounces.
Mrs. and Miss Ainsford Hill.
Oh, Lord.
How do you do?
How do you do? My son, Henry.
Your celebrated son? Oh, I have so longed to meet you, Professor Higgins.
I'm delighted.
How do you do?
I feel sure I've seen you before somewhere. Haven't the ghost of notion where, but I remember your voice. Oh, don't matter anyhow, you better sit down.
I'm afraid to say my celebrated son has no manners. You mustn't mind him. I don't.
Not at all.
Have I been rude? Oh, I didn't mean to be.
Colonel Pickering.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Higgins.
So very glad to see you. Do you know Mrs. Ainsford Hill? Miss Ainsford Hill?
Has Henry told you?
And we were interrupted, damn it.
Oh, Henry, really?
Are we in the way?
No, not at all. You couldn't have come more fortunately. We want you to meet a friend of ours.
Yes, by George. You'll do as well as anybody else.
Mr. Ainsford Hill.
Oh, heavens, another of them.
How do you do?
How do you do? Colonel Pickering?
How do you do?
And I don't think you know my son, Professor Higgins?
How do you do?
I'll take my oath I've seen you before somewhere. Where was it?
I don't think so.
Oh, don't matter anyhow, you better sit down. Well now, what the devil are we going to talk about until Eliza comes?
Henry, You are the life and soul of the Royal Society soirees, but rarely you're rather trying on more commonplace occasions.
Oh, am I? Suppose I am, really.
I sympathise. I haven't any small talk. If people would only be frank and say what they really think.
Lord forbid.
But why?
What they think they ought to think, well, that's bad enough. But what they think they'd really think, oh, that would spoil the whole show. Besides, do you think it would be really agreeable if I were to come out now with what I really think?
Is it so very cynical?
Cynical? Who the dickens said it was cynical? I mean, it would have been decent.
Oh, I'm sure you don't mean that, Mr. Higgins.
You see, we're all savages, more or less. We're supposed to be civilised and cultured and to know all about science and art and poetry and philosophy. But how many of us know the meanings of these names? What do you know of poetry? And what do you know of science? And what does he know of science or anything else? What the devil do you think I know about philosophy?
Or of manners, Henry.
And Miss Doolittle.
Here she is, Mother.
How do you do? Higgins, Mr. Higgins told me I might come.
I'm very pleased to see you.
How do you do, Miss Doolittle?
Colonel Pickering! He eats not.
I feel sure we have met before, Miss Doolittle. I remember your eyes.
How do you do?
How do you do? My daughter Clara.
How do you do?
How do you do?
My son Freddie.
I've certainly had the pleasure. How do you do?
How do you do?
Yes, by George, it all comes back to me. Covent Garden, now there's a damn thing.
Henry, please don't sit on my writing table. You'll break it.
Sorry.
Will it rain, do you think?
The shallow depression in the west of these islands is likely to move slowly in an easterly direction. There are no indications of any great change in the barometrical situation.
How awfully funny.
What is wrong with that, young man? I bet I got it right.
Killing.
I'm sure I hope it won't turn cold. I mean, there's so much influenza about. It runs right through the whole of our family regularly every spring.
My aunt died of influenza. So they said. But it is my belief they done the old woman in.
Done her in?
Yes, Lord love you. Why should she die of influenza? She she come through diphtheria right enough the year before. I saw her with my own eyes. Fairly blue with it she was. They all thought she was dead. But my father, he kept ladling gin down her throat till she came to so sudden that she bit the bowl off the spoon. Dear me, what call would a woman with that strength in her have to die of influenza? What become of her new straw hat that should have come to me? Somebody pinched it. And what I say is, them as pinched it, done her in.
What does, doing her in mean?
Oh, that's the new small talk. To do somebody in means to kill them.
Oh, surely you don't mean that your aunt was killed?
Do I not? Them she lived with would have killed her for a hat pin, let alone a hat.
But surely it can't have been right for your father to pour spirits down her throat like that. I mean, it might have killed her.
Not her. Gin was mother's milk to her. Besides, he had poured so much dye in his own throat that he knew the good of it.
Do you mean he drank?
Drank! My word, something chronic.
Oh, how dreadful for you.
Not a bit. It never did him no harm, what I could see. But then he did not keep it up regular. On the burst, as you might say, from time to time. And always more agreeable when he had a drop in. When he was out of work, my mother used to give him 4pence and tell him to go out and not to come back until he had drunk himself cheerful and loving like. There are many women who have to make their husbands drunk before they are fit to live with. You see, it's like this. If a man has a bit of a conscience, it takes him when he's sober, and that makes him low-spirited. A drop of booze just takes that off and makes him happy. Here, what are you sniggering at?
Well, the new small talk. You do it so awfully well.
If I was doing it proper, then what was you laughing at? Have I said anything I oughtn't?
Not at all, Miss Doolittle.
Well, that's a mercy anyhow. What I always say. Well, I really must go. So pleased to have met you, Mrs. Higgins. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Miss Doolittle.
Goodbye, Colonel Pickering. Goodbye, all.
Miss Doolittle, are you walking across the park?
Not bloody like. I'm going in a taxi.
I shall never get used to these new ways.
Oh, it's all right, Mamma, quite right. People will never think we go anywhere or see anybody if you're so old-fashioned.
I dare say I am very old-fashioned, Clara, but I do hope you won't start using that expression. I have got accustomed to hearing you talking about men as rotters and calling everything filthy and beastly, though I do think it horrible and unladylike. But this last, is really too much. Don't you think so, Colonel Pickering?
Oh, don't ask me. I've been away in India for several years, and manners have changed so much. Sometimes I don't know whether I'm at a respectable dining table or in a ship's forecastle.
It's all a matter of habit. There's no wrong or right in it, and nobody means anything by it. And it's so quaint and gives such a smart emphasis to things that are not in themselves very witty. I find new small talk delightful and quite innocent.
Well, I think after that it's time for us to go.
Oh, yes. We have 3 homes to go to still. Goodbye, Mrs. Higgins. Goodbye, Colonel Pickering. Goodbye, Professor Higgins.
Goodbye. Be sure to try that new small talk at the 3 at homes. And don't be nervous about it. Pitch it in strong.
Oh, I will. Such nonsense, all this early Victorian prudery.
Such damned nonsense.
Such bloody nonsense.
I ask you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Would you like to see Miss Doolittle again?
Oh, yes, I should. Most awfully, yes.
Well, you know my days.
Oh, yes. Thanks awfully. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Higgins.
Goodbye.
It's no use. I shall never be able to bring myself to use that word.
Don't. It's not compulsory, and you'll get by quite well without it.
Clara is so down on me if I am not positively reeking in the latest slang. Goodbye, Colonel Pickering.
Goodbye.
You mustn't mind, Clara. It's just that we are so poor, and she gets to so few parties. She doesn't quite know. But the boy is nice, don't you think so?
Oh, quite nice. I shall always be delighted to see him.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, is Eliza presentable?
You silly boy, of course she's not presentable. She's a triumph of your art and of her dressmakers. But if you suppose for one moment she doesn't give herself away with every sentence she utters, you must be perfectly cracked about her.
Well, surely something can be done. If we eliminated the sanguinary element of her conversation.
Not as long as she is in Henry's hands.
You mean to say that my language is improper?
No, dear. It would be quite proper. Say on a canal barge, but it would not be proper for her at a garden party.
Well, I must... Oh, come, Higgins, know yourself. I must say I haven't heard language such as yours since we used to review the volunteers in Hyde Park 20 years ago.
Oh, well, if you say so, I suppose I don't always talk like a bishop.
Colonel Pickering, will you tell me, what is the exact state of things in Wimpole Street?
Well, I moved in there to live with Henry. We're working on my Indian dialect, and it's much more convenient.
Yes, I know that. It's an excellent arrangement. But where does this girl live?
With us, of course. Where should she live?
But on what terms? Is she a servant? If not, what is she?
I think I know what you mean, Mrs. Higgins.
Oh, dash me if I do. I've had to work hard at that girl to get her to a present pitch. Besides, she's useful around the house. She knows where my things are, reminds me of my appointments and so forth.
How does your housekeeper get on with her?
Mrs. Pierce, she gets on very well with her. For before Eliza came, she used to have to find anything, remind me of my appointments and so forth. Now she's got some silly bee in her bonnet about Eliza. She keeps on saying, "You don't think, sir," doesn't she, Pick?
Yes, that's the formula. "You don't think, sir," is the end of most conversations about Eliza.
As if I ever stopped thinking about that girl and her confounded vowel sounds. Watching her, I tell you, I'm exhausted watching her lips and her teeth and her tongue, not to then mention her very soul, which is the quaintest of the lot.
You certainly are a pretty pair of babies, playing with your live doll.
Playing? That's the hardest job I've ever tackled. Make no mistake about that. You have no idea how totally absorbing it is to take a human being and completely transform them into a completely different human being by giving them a new speech. It fills up the deepest gulf that separates class from class and soul from soul.
Oh, I assure you, Mrs. Higgins, we take Eliza very seriously. We keep careful records of every stage. You know that every week, every day almost, there's some new progress. We keep gramophone discs.
Yes, by George, it's the most absorbing experiment I've ever tackled. She frankly fills up our lives, doesn't she, Beck?
Yes, we're always talking Eliza.
Teaching Eliza.
Dressing Eliza.
What? Inventing new Elizas. Oh,
you
you see, you have no idea. She's so particular on every single word, consonant and dialect, African.
I do beg your pardon.
I'm so sorry. When Pickering starts shouting, nobody can get a word in edgeways.
Be quiet, Henry. Colonel Pickering, don't you realise that when Eliza walked into Wimpole Street, something walked in with her?
Yes, her father did. Well, Henry soon got rid of him.
It would have been more to the point if her mother had. But as her mother didn't, something else did.
What?
A problem.
Well, you mean the problem of how to pass her off as a lady?
Oh, I'll solve that problem. I have solved it already.
No, you two infinitely stupid male creatures. The problem of what is to be done with her afterwards.
Well, I don't see anything in that. She can go her own way with all the advantages I have given her.
The advantages of that poor woman who was here just now? The manners and habits that disqualify a fine lady from earning her own living without giving her a fine lady's income? Is that what you mean?
Oh, that'll be all right, Mrs. Higgins.
Oh, we'll find her some light employment.
Yes, she's happy enough. Don't you worry about her. Goodbye.
Besides, the thing's done now, Mother. Goodbye.
There are plenty of openings. We'll do what's right.
I say, Pick. Let's take her to the Shakespeare exhibition at Earl's Court. Oh,
Your remarks will be delicious.
she'll mimic all the people for us when we get home. Ripping! Goodbye, Mother.
Men, men, men.
Going out again. All right, can Mrs. Pierce go to bed? We don't want anything more, do we? Lord, no. I say, Mrs. Pierce will row if we leave things lying around in the drawing room.
Oh, chuck them over the banisters into the hall. Shall put them away in the morning, all right? I shall think we're drunk.
Well, we are, slightly. Were there any letters?
I didn't look. Oh, where the devil are my slippers?
Circulars, and this coroneted beer here for you.
Money lender. Oh, Lord! What an evening. What a crew. What a silly tomfoolery. Oh, there are they. Oh.
I feel rather tired. It's been a long day. Garden party, dinner party and reception, rather too much of a good thing. But you've won your bet, Higgins. Eliza did the trick and something to spare, eh?
God, it's all over.
Were you nervous during the garden party? I was. Eliza didn't seem a bit nervous.
Oh, she wasn't nervous. No, I knew she'd be all right. No, it's the strain of putting the job through all these months that has told on me. It was interesting enough at first while we were at phonetics. But after that, I got deadly sick of it. If I hadn't backed myself to do it, I would have given the whole thing up 2 months ago. It was a silly notion. The whole thing has been born.
Oh, come now. The garden party was frightfully exciting. My heart began beating like anything.
Oh, yes, for the first 3 minutes. But after that, when I knew we were going to win hands down, I felt like a bear in a cage, sitting there, gorging there, doing nothing. The dinner was worse, sitting gorging there for over an hour, with nobody but a damned fool of a fashionable woman to talk to. I tell you, Pig, never again. No more artificial duchesses. The whole thing has been simple purgatory.
So, Liz, you've never been properly broken into the social routine, have you? I rather enjoy dipping into it myself again now, just from time to time. Makes me feel young again. Still, it's been a great success. An immense success. I was rather nervous once or twice because Eliza was doing it so well. You know, a lot of the real people can't do it at all. They think that style comes naturally to people in their position, so they never bother to learn. There's something remarkably professional in seeing a job done superlatively well.
Yes, that's what drives me mad. The silly people don't know their own silly business. However, it's over and done with, and I can go to bed without ever dreading tomorrow.
Yes, I think I shall turn in too. Still, it's been a great occasion. A triumph for you. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Put out the lights, Eliza, and tell Mrs. Pierce not to make coffee in the morning. I'll take it. What the devil have I done with my slippers?
There are your slippers, and there! Take your slippers and may you never have a day back with them!
What's the matter? Get up! Is there anything wrong?
No! Nothing wrong with you! I've won your bet for you, haven't I? That's enough for you. I don't matter, I suppose.
You? Won my bet? You? You're presumptuous insect. I won it! But what did you throw those slippers at me for?
Because I want to smash your face! I'd like to kill brute! Why didn't you leave me where you found me? In the gutter! You thank God it's all over and that you can throw me back there, do you?
The creature is nervous.
Oh!
Ah! Claws in, would you, you cat! How dare you show your temper to me? Sit down and be quiet!
What's to become of me? What's to become of me?
How the devil do I know what's become of you? What does it matter what becomes of you?
You don't care. I know you don't care. I'm nothing to you. Not so much as them slippers.
Those slippers?
Those slippers. I didn't think it made any difference now.
Why have you begun going on like this? May I ask if you complain of your treatment here?
No.
Well, has anybody behaved badly to you? Colonel Pickering? Mrs. Pierce? Any of the servants?
No.
I presume you don't pretend that I have treated you badly?
No.
Glad to hear it. You must be tired after the strain of the day. Will you have a glass of champagne?
No. Thank you.
This has been coming on you for some days now. I suppose it was natural for you to be anxious about the garden party. That's all over now. There's nothing more to worry about.
No, nothing more for you to worry about. Oh, God, I wish I was dead.
Why? In heaven's name, why? Listen to me, Eliza. All this irritation is purely subjective.
I don't understand. I'm too ignorant.
Low spirits and nothing else. Look, Eliza. You go to bed. Have a good night's rest. Have a little cry. Say your prayers. That'll make you feel comfortable.
I heard your prayers. Thank God it's all over.
Well, don't you thank God it's all over. Now you're free and you can do what you like.
What am I fit for? What have you left me fit for? Where am I to go? What am I to do? What's to become of me?
That's what's worrying you, is it? Oh, I should bother about that if I were you. I'm sure you won't have much difficulty in finding somewhere. No, I hadn't quite imagined that you were going away. But how do you know? You see, Eliza, not all men are confirmed old bachelors like me and the Colonel, but most men are the man sort. You're not bad looking. You're quite a pleasure to look at you sometimes. Not that, because you're crying and look as ugly as the very devil, but when you're all right, you're what I should call attractive. That is, people in the man, you understand. Good. You go to bed. Have a good night's sleep. Get up. Look at yourself in the mirror, and you won't feel so cheap. I dare say my mother could find some chap or other who would do very well.
We were above that at the corner of Tottenham Court Road.
What do you mean?
I sold flowers. I didn't sell myself. Now you've made a lady of me, I'm not fit to sell anything else. I wish you'd left me where you found me.
Tosh, Eliza. Don't insult human relations by drinking all this cant about buying and selling into it. You needn't marry the fellow if you don't like him.
What else am I to do?
Lots of things. Well, what about your own idea of a flower shop? I dare say Pickering could set you up with one. He's got lots of money. You'll have to pay for all the dogs you've been wearing tonight, and that with the hire of the jewellery will put a big hole in £200 worth. Why, 6 months ago, You would have thought it the millennium to have a flower shop of your own. Look, you go to... Oh, I can't be... I'm going to bed.
Before you go, sir, do my clothes belong to me or to Colonel Pickering?
What the devil use would they be to Pickering?
He might want them for the next girl you pick up to experiment on.
Is that the way you feel towards us?
I don't want to hear any more about that now. All I want to know is whether anything belongs to me. My own clothes were burnt.
But what does it matter now? Why need to start bothering about that in the middle of the night?
I need to know what I may take away with me. I don't want to be accused of stealing.
Or stealing? You shouldn't have said that, Eliza. That shows a want of feeling.
I'm sorry. I'm only a common, ignorant girl. And in my station I have to be careful. There can't be any feeling between the like of you and the like of me. Please, will you tell me what belongs to me and what doesn't?
We take the whole damn house, if you like. Except the jewels, they're high. Will that satisfy you?
Will you take this to your room and keep it safe? I don't want to run the risk of it being missing.
Hand it over. If this belonged to me instead of to the jeweler, I'd ram it down your ungrateful throat.
This is not the jeweller's. It's the ring you bought me in Brighton. I don't want it now. Don't you hit me!
Hit you, you infamous creature! It's you that have hit me! How dare you accuse me of such a thing? You have wounded me to the heart!
Good! I'm glad I've got a little of my own back anyhow.
You have caused me to lose my temper. A thing that has hardly ever happened to me before. I prefer to say nothing more tonight.
You'd better tell Mrs. Pierce about the coffee, for she won't be told by me.
Down, Mrs. Pierce. Down the coffee. And down you. And damn my own folly for ever having lavished my hard-earned knowledge and the treasure of my regard on a heartless...
Downstairs with Colonel Pickering.
Well, show them up.
They're using the telephone, ma'am. Telephoning to the police, I think.
What?
Mr. Henry is in a state, ma'am. I thought I should tell you.
If you had told me Mr. Henry was not in a state, it would have been more surprising. Tell them to come up when they've finished with the police. I suppose they've lost something.
Yes, ma'am.
Go upstairs and tell Miss Doolittle that Mr. Henry and the Colonel are here. Tell them not to come down until I send for her.
Yes, ma'am.
Look here, Mother. Oh, here's a confounded thing.
Yes, dear. Good morning. What is it?
Eliza's bolted.
You must have frightened her.
Frightened her? Nonsense. She was left last night to turn out the lights and all that, and instead of going to bed, she went right out. Her bed wasn't slept in. She came in a cab for her things before 7 this morning, and that fool, Mrs. Pierce, let her have them without telling me a word about it. But what have I to do?
Do without, I'm afraid, Henry. The girl has a perfect right to leave if she chooses.
But I can't find anything. I don't know what appointments I've got, and I'm completely
Good morning, Mrs.
catastrophic.
Higgins. Henry told you about Eliza.
What did that ass of an inspector have to say? Did you offer a reward?
You don't mean to say you have set the police after Eliza?
Well, what are the police for? What else could we do?
I'm afraid the inspector made rather a lot of difficulties. I think he suspected us of some improper purpose.
Well, of course he did. What right have you to go to the police and give the girl's name as if she were a thief or a lost umbrella or something? Oh, really?
But we want to find her.
Oh, yes, we must get her back. Mrs. Higgins, what are we to do?
You have no more sense, either of you, than 2 children. Why on earth...
Mr. Henry, a gentleman wants to see you downstairs. Very particular.
Bother, I can't see anyone now. Who is it?
Mr. Doolittle, sir.
Doolittle? Do you mean the dustman?
Dustman? Oh, no, sir. A gentleman.
By George, Pick. It's some relative of hers that she's gone to. Somebody we know nothing about. Send them up, quick.
Yes, sir.
Genteel relatives. Now we shall hear something.
Do you know any of her people?
Well, only her father, the one we told you about.
Mr. Doolittle.
Here, do you see this? You done this?
Done what, man?
Yes, I tell you. Look at his hat. Look at this coat.
Has Eliza been buying you new clothes?
Eliza, not she. Why should she buy me clothes?
Good morning, Mr. Doolittle. Won't you sit down?
Oh, asking your pardon, Mum. I thank you. I'm so full of what's happened to me, I can't think of nothing else.
What the devil has happened to you?
I shouldn't have minded if it had just happened to me. Anything might happen to anybody and nobody to blame but Providence, as you might say. But this is something you've done to me. Yes, you, Henry Higgins.
But what has my son done to you?
Done to me, ruined me, destroyed me happiness, tied me up and delivered me into the hands of middle-class morality.
You're drunk. You're raving. I gave you £5 for her. After that, I had 2 conversations with you at £0.50 an hour. I've never seen you since.
Oh, drunk am I? Mad am I? Well, tell me this. Did you or did you not write a letter to some old blighter in America who was giving $5 million to found reform societies all over the world and who wanted you to invent a universal language for him?
What? Ezra D. Waterford? Well, he's dead.
Yes, he's dead and I'm done for. Did you or did you not write to him saying that the most original moralist at present in England, to the best of your knowledge, was Alfred Doolittle, a common dustman?
I can remember making some joke of the kind.
Oh, well, you may well call it a silly joke. Put the lid on me right enough. Just gave him the excuse he wanted to say that these Americans ain't like us, that they recognise and respect merit in every class of life, however humble. Them words is in his blooming will, Henry Higgins, in which, thanks to you, he's left me a share in his pre-digestive cheese trust worth $3,000 a year on the condition that I lecture for his Wannafellow Moral Reform World League as many times as they ask me, up to 6 times a year.
Devil he does. What a lark.
Well, it's a safe thing for you, Doolittle. I mean, they won't ask you twice.
It ain't the lecturing I mind. I lecture 'em blue in the face, I will, and not turn an ear. No, it's the making of a gentleman of me I object to. Who asked him to make a gentleman of me? I was happy. I was free. I touched nigh everybody for money when I wanted it, same as I touched you, Henry Higgins. Now I'm worried, tied neck and heels, and everybody touches me for money. A year ago I hadn't a relative in the world except 2 or 3 who wouldn't speak to me. Now I'm 50, and not a decent week's wages among the lot of them. I have to live for others and not myself, and that's middle-class morality for you. And the next one to touch me will be you, Henry Higgins. I'll have to learn to speak middle-class language from you instead of speaking proper English. That's where you'll come in. And and I dare say that's what you've done it for.
But you need not suffer all this if you are really in earnest, Mr. Doolittle. Nobody can force you to accept this bequest. You can repudiate it. Isn't that so, Colonel Pickering?
Oh, I believe so.
Well, that's the tragedy of it, Mum. It's easy to say chuck it, but I haven't the nerve. Which of us has? We're all intimidated, that's what we are, Mum. Intimidated. What is there for me if I do chuck it but the workhouse in the old age? I have to dye my hair now to keep my job as a dustman. If I was one of the deserving poor and had put by a bit, I could chuck it. But I, as one of the undeserving poor, have nothing between me and a pauper's uniform except this here blasted 3,000 a year that shoves me into the middle class. Oh, excuse your blessing. Intimidated, that's what I am. Broke. Brought up. And that's what your son brought me to.
Well, I'm glad you're not going to do anything foolish, Mr. Doolittle. For this solves the problem of Eliza's future. You can provide for her now.
Yes. I can provide for everyone now, out of 3,000 a year.
Nonsense. He can't provide for her. He shan't provide for her. She doesn't belong to him. I gave him £5 for her. Doolittle, either an honest man or a rogue.
A little of both, Henry, like the rest of us. A little of both.
Well, you took money for that girl, and you have no right to take her as well.
Henry, don't be absurd. If you want to know where the girl is, she is upstairs.
Upstairs? Well, then I shall jolly soon fetch her downstairs.
Henry, be quiet and sit down. Sit down here and listen to me.
Very well, very well, very well. But I think you could have told her this over half an hour ago.
Eliza came to me this morning and told me of the brutal way you two had treated her.
What? Oh, really, Mrs. Higgins, I think she's been telling you stories. We didn't treat her brutally. We hardly said a word to her, and we parted on particularly good terms. Higgins, did you bully her after I went to bed?
Just the other way about. She threw my slippers into my face. She behaved in the most outrageous way. I never gave her the slightest provocation. The slippers came bang into my face. The moment I had entered the room, before I had uttered a word, I'd used perfectly awful language.
But why, what had we done?
I think I know pretty well what you did. The girl is rather affectionate, I think, isn't she, Mr. Doolittle?
Oh, very tender-hearted, man. Takes after me.
Quite so. She has become attached to you both. I don't think you realise what anything in the nature of brainwork means to you, Henry. Well, it seems that when the great day of trial came and she did this wonderful thing for you both without making a single mistake, you two just sat there and talked together of how glad you were that it was all over and how bored you had been with the whole thing. Then you were surprised she threw your slippers at you. I would have thrown the fire irons at you.
We said nothing, except that we were tired and we wanted to go to bed, didn't we, Pick?
That was all.
Quite sure?
Absolutely, really, that was all.
You didn't thank her, or pet her, or admire her, or tell her how splendid she'd been.
But she knew all of that. We didn't make any speeches for her, if that's what you mean.
Perhaps we were rather inconsiderate. Is she very angry?
Well, I'm afraid she won't come back to Wimpole Street, especially now that Mr. Doolittle is able to keep up the position you have thrust on her. But she said she is willing to meet you on friendly terms and to let bygones be bygones.
Is she, by George?
If you promise to behave yourself, Henry, I'll ask her to come down. If not, go home, for you have taken up quite enough of my time.
Oh, very well, very well, very well. Pick, you behave yourself. Let us put on our best Sunday manners for this creature that we picked up out of the mud.
Now, Henry Higgins, you have some consideration for my feelings as a middle-class man.
Remember your promise, Henry. Mr. Doolittle, would you mind stepping outside? I don't want Eliza to hear the shock of your news until she has made it up with these two gentlemen. Would you mind?
As you wish, lady. Anything to help Henry here keep her off my hands.
Miss Doolittle to come down, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Henry, be good.
I am behaving myself perfectly.
He's doing his best, Mrs. Higgins.
You don't look at all nice in that attitude, Henry.
I wasn't trying to look nice, Mother.
It doesn't matter anyway. I only wanted to make you speak.
Why?
Because you can't speak and whistle at the same time.
Well, are we to wait here all day for that confounded girl? Where is she?
Good afternoon, Professor Higgins. Are you quite well? But of course you are. You are never ill. So glad to see you again, Colonel Pickering. Quite chilly this morning, isn't it?
Don't you dare try this game on me. I taught it to you and it doesn't take me in. Get up and come home and don't be a fool.
Very nicely put indeed, Henry. No girl could resist such an invitation.
Will you drop me altogether now that the experiment is over, Colonel Pickering?
Don't think of it as an experiment. It shocks me somehow.
Oh, I'm only a squash cabbage leaf.
No.
But I owe so much to you that I would be very unhappy if you forgot me.
It's really very kind of you to say that, Miss Doolittle.
It's not because you paid for my dresses. I know you are always generous to everybody with money. But it was from you that I learnt really nice manners. And that's what makes one a lady, isn't it? You see, it was always so very difficult for me with the example of Professor Higgins always before me. I was brought up to be just like him, unable to control myself and using bad language on the slightest provocation. And I would never have known that ladies and gentlemen didn't behave like that if you hadn't been there.
Oh, but well, he didn't mean it. That's just his way.
I know, I didn't mean it either when I was a flower girl. It was just my way. But you see, I did it, and that's what makes the difference after all.
Still, he taught you to speak, you know, and I couldn't have done that.
Of course, that is his profession.
Damnation.
It's just like learning to dance in the fashionable way. There's nothing more to it than that. But do you know what began my real education?
What?
Your calling me Miss Doolittle that very first day I came to Wimpole Street. That was the beginning of self-respect for me. And there are hundreds of things you never noticed because they came naturally to you. Things like standing up and opening doors and taking off your hat.
That was nothing.
Yes, things that you showed, you thought and felt about me as if I was something better than a scullery maid. Though, of course, I know you would have been exactly the same to the scullery maid if she had been let into the drawing room. You never took off your boots in the dining room whilst I was there.
Oh, you mustn't mind Henry. He takes his boots off all over the place.
I know he does. I'm not blaming him. It's his way. But you see, it made such difference to me that you didn't do it. You see, really and truly, apart from the things one can pick up, the dressing and the proper way of speaking and so on, the difference between a flower girl and a lady is not how she behaves, but how she's treated. I know I will always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins because he always treats me as a flower girl and always will. But I know I can be a lady with you because you always treat me as a lady and always will.
Please don't grind your teeth, Henry.
It's awfully nice of you to say that, Miss Doolittle.
I should like you to call me Eliza now, if you would.
Oh, Eliza, of course. Thank you.
And I should like Professor Higgins to call me Miss Doolittle.
I'm just lying back at him. Stand up to him. Do him good.
I can't. I could have done it once, but I can't go back to it now. You know, you told me that when a child is brought to a foreign country, it picks up the language quickly and forgets its own. Well, I am a child in your country now. I have forgotten my language and can speak nothing but yours. That's the real break-off with the corner of Tottenham Court Road. Leaving Wimpole Street finishes it.
Oh, but you'll come back to Wimpole Street, won't you? You'll forgive Higgins.
Forgive, won't she, by George? Let her see how she gets on without us. She will relapse into the gutter in 3 weeks without me at her elbow.
he's incorrigible. You won't relapse, will you, Eliza?
No, not now. Never again. I don't believe I could utter one of the old sounds if I tried.
Ow! Ow! Victory! Victory!
Can you blame the girl? Don't look at me like that, Eliza. It ain't my fault. I've come into some money.
You must have touched a millionaire this time, Dad.
I have. But I'm dressed something special today. I'm going down to St George's, Hanover Square. Your stepmother's coming down.
You're going to let yourself down to marry that low-common woman?
He ought to, Eliza. What made her change her mind?
Intimidated, Governor. Intimidated. Middle-class morality claims its victim. Won't you put your hat on, Eliza, and come down and see me turned off?
If the Colonel says I must, I'll demean myself and get insulted for my pains like enough.
No, don't be afraid. She don't come to words with anyone now, poor woman. Respectability's broken all the spirit out of her.
Be kind to them. Make the best of it, Eliza.
Oh well, just show there's no ill feeling. I'll be back in a moment.
I feel uncommon nervous about this ceremony, Colonel. I wish you'd come down and see me through it.
Well, surely, man, you've been through it all before. Oh, you married Eliza's mother.
Who told you that?
Well, nobody told me. I just assumed, naturally.
No, that ain't the natural way. It's the middle-class way. My way was always the undeserving way. Don't you tell Eliza, she don't know. I always had a delicacy about telling her.
Well, we'll keep it that way if you don't mind.
And you'll come down and put me through straight.
Oh, delighted, as far as a bachelor can.
May I come, Mr. Doolittle? I should be very sorry to miss your wedding.
I should indeed be. Consider it an honour by your condescension, ma'am. And my poor old woman would consider it a tremendous compliment. She's been very low lately, thinking of the happy days at an arm mower.
I'll order the carriage and get ready. I shan't be more than 15 minutes. I'm going to the church to see your father married, Eliza. You had better come in the brougham with me. Colonel Pickering can go on with the bridegroom.
Right. What a word. Makes a man realise his position somehow, don't it?
Before we go, Eliza, won't you forgive Higgins and come back with us?
I don't think Dad would allow me now. Would you, Dad?
Oh, they played you off very cunning, these two sportsmen, Eliza. If it'd only been one of them, you could have nailed him. But you see, there was two, and one chaperoned the other, as you might say. It was artfully, Colonel, but I bear no malice. I would have done the same myself if I was you. I've been the victim of one woman after another all my life. I don't grudge you getting the better of Eliza. I shan't interfere. I think it's time to go, Colonel. So long, Henry. See you in St George's, Eliza.
Please. Please, come back to us.
Well, Eliza, you've had a bit of your own back, as you call it. Have you had enough? Are you going to be reasonable, or do you want any more?
You want me back? To pick up your slippers? Put up with your tempers, fetch and carry for you.
I haven't said I wanted you back at all.
Oh, indeed. Then what are we talking about?
About you, not about me. If you come back, I will treat you just as I've always treated you. Can't change my nature. And I don't intend to change my manners. My manners are exactly the same as Colonel Pickering.
That's not true. He treated the flower girl as if she was a duchess.
And I treat a duchess as if she were a flower girl.
I see. The same to everybody.
Just so.
Like father.
Without all comparisons, Eliza, it's quite true that your father is not a snob, and that he will be quite at home in any station of life to which his unusual destiny may call him. You see, Eliza, the great secret is not having bad manners or good manners or any other particular sort of manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. In short, as if you were in heaven, where there are no third-class carriages and all souls are as good as another.
Amen. You are a born preacher.
The question is not whether I treat you rudely, but whether you have ever heard me treat anyone better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind your swearing at me, and I shouldn't mind a black eye. I've had one before this.
Then get out of my way, for I won't stop you. You talk about me as if I were a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus. All bounce and go and no consideration for anyone else. But I can do without you, don't think I can't.
I know you can. I told her you could.
I know you did, you brute. You wanted to get rid of me.
Liar!
Thank you.
You never asked yourself whether I could do without you.
Don't you try to get round me. You'll have to do without me.
I can do without anybody. I have my own sun, my own spark of divine fire. But I shall miss you, Eliza. I've learned something from your idiotic notions. I confess that, humbly and gratefully. And I've learned something. I've grown accustomed to your voice and appearance. I like you, Mother.
Well, you have them on your gramophone and in your book of photographs. When you feel lonely without me, you can switch the machine on. It's got no feelings to hurt.
I can't turn your soul on. Give me those feelings. You may take away the voice and the face. They're not you.
Oh, you are a devil. You can twist the heart in a girl as easy as some could twist her arms to hurt her. Mrs. Pierce warned me. Time and again she has wanted to leave you, and you always got round her at the last minute. And you don't care a bit for her, and you don't care a bit for me.
I care for life, and I care for humanity. And you have come my way and been built into part of my house. What more can you or anyone ask?
I won't care for anybody that doesn't care for me.
Eliza, you're an idiot. I waste the treasures of my Miltonic mind by spreading them before you. Once and for all, understand that I go my way and do my thing without giving tuppence what happens to either of us. I'm not easily intimidated like your father or your stepmother, so you can come back or go to the devil, whichever you please.
What am I to come back for?
For the fun of it! That's why I took you on.
And you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
Yes, or you may walk out on me tomorrow if I don't do everything you ask me to.
And live with my stepmother?
Yes. Or sell flowers.
Oh, if only I could go back to my flower basket. I would be free of you and father and all the world. Why did you take my independence from me? Why did I give it up? And slave for all my fine clothes?
I could settle money on you if you like. Or would you rather marry Pickering?
Wouldn't marry you if you asked me. And you're nearer my age than what he is.
Than he is, not than what he is.
I'll talk as I like. You're not my teacher now.
I don't suppose Pickering would, though. He's as confirmed old bachelor as I am.
That's not what I want. And don't you think it. I've always had chaps enough wanting me. Freddie Hill writes to me 2 and 3 times a day. Sheets and sheets.
Damn his impudence.
He has a right to like poor lads, and he does love me.
You have no right to encourage him.
Every girl has a right to be loved.
Oh, what? By fools like that?
Freddie's not a fool. And if he's weak and poor and wants me, maybe he'd make me happier than my betters that bully me and don't want me.
But can he make anything of you? Oh, that's the point.
Perhaps I could make something of him. But I never thought of us making anything of one another. And you never think of anything else. I only want to be natural.
In short, you want me to be infatuated about you as Freddie. Is that it?
No, I don't. That's not the sort of feeling I want from you. And don't you be too sure of yourself or me. Could have been a bad girl if I'd liked. I've seen more of some things than you, for all your learning. Girls like me can drag gentlemen down to make love to them easy enough and wish each other dead the next minute.
Of course they do. Then what in thunder are we quarrelling about?
I want a little kindness.
Oh.
I know I'm only a common, ignorant girl, and you a book-learned gentleman, but I'm not dirt under your feet. What I did, was not for the dresses and the taxes. I did it because we were pleasant together, and I came to care for you. Not to want you to make love to me, and not forgetting the difference between us, but more friendly-like.
Of course That's how I feel. That's how Pickering feels. Oh, Eliza, you're a fool!
That's not the proper answer to give me.
It's all you'll get until you stop behaving like a common idiot. If you're going to be a lady, you're going to have to stop sniveling around other young men who spend half their time sniveling around you and the other half giving you black eyes. If you can't appreciate what you've got, you better get what you can appreciate.
You're a cruel tyrant. I can't talk to you. You turn everything against me. I'm always in the wrong. But you know very well that all the time you're nothing but a bully. You think I must go back to Wimpole Street because I have nowhere else to go but father's. But don't you be too sure that you'll have me to be trampled on and called names. I'll marry Freddie, I will, as soon as I'm able to support him.
Freddie? Freddie, that young fool, that poor devil who couldn't get a job as an errand boy, even if he had the guts to try for it. Oh, woman! Do you not understand that I have made you a consort for a king?
Freddie loves me. That makes him king enough for me. I don't want him to work. Wasn't brought up just as I was. I'll go and be a teacher.
What will you teach?
What you taught me, I'll teach phonetics. Yes! Why didn't I think of it before? You can't take away that knowledge you gave me. And I can be kind and civil to people, which is more than you can. Yes, that's got you, Henry Higgins, and I don't give that for your bullying and your big talk. Oh, when I think of myself under your feet being called names, when all the time all I had to do was lift my little finger to be as good as you. I could just kick myself.
You damned impudent slut. But it's better than sniveling. Better than fetching slippers. By George. I said I'd make a woman of you, and I have. I like you like this.
Yes, you can turn round and make up to me now, but I'm not afraid of you. Can do without you.
Of course I do. Oh, Eliza, you're a fool. Why, 5 minutes ago, you were like a millstone round my neck. Now you're a tower string. A consort battleship. You and I and Pickering shall be 3 old bachelors instead of 2 men and a silly girl.
The carriage is waiting, Eliza. Are you ready?
Quite. Is the professor coming?
Certainly not. He can't behave himself in church. He always makes remarks out loud on the clergyman's pronunciation.
Then I shall not see you again
Professor Higgins. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.
Oh, Eliza! Remember to order a new ham and a Stilton, will you? And buy me a pair of reindeer gloves. Number 8s. And a tie to match that new suit of mine. You can choose the colour.
Number 8s are too small for you if you want them lined with lamb's wool. You have 3 new ties that you have forgotten in the drawer of your washstand. Colonel Pickering prefers double Gloucester to Stilton, and you don't notice the difference. I telephoned Mrs. Pierce this morning not to forget the ham. What you are to do without me, I cannot imagine.
I'm afraid you spoilt that girl, Henry. I should be uneasy about you and her if she were less fond of Colonel Pickering.
Pickering? Nonsense, she's going to marry Freddie. Freddie.
I washed my face and hands before I come, I did.
Eliza, where the devil are my slippers?